Hey guys, Mike Day 2, welcome back to another video. Today's video, this is sort of a follow-up to the video from a couple weeks ago where I talked about getting this thing right here. I mentioned that I was going to do some upgrades in the near future, which included putting a capture card in it and getting screws for the SSD along with a Wi-Fi card, which I did not get today, but I've got the capture card, I've got screws, so we're gonna do this today. So the first step will be moving it from this table to that table, so let's do that. Now it's over here. And I'll have to adjust the camera a little bit. So the first step we're doing is taking off this glass side panel. And if I remember correctly, it just sort of pull it out. And I'll set this aside for the moment. Now I'll need to get into the capture card. It's still mostly in the box. I've taken out the HDMI cable and the instructions. So, I originally was going to get a 4K 60 Pro, an Elgato 4K 60 Pro, but I changed my mind because it was more expensive and I wasn't planning to really be recording in 4K, so I decided to just go with the HD60 Pro instead. Alright, so this thing is going to go in one of these slots here. So beneath the graphics card here, we got some PCI slots. And I want to take out one of, let's see, can it fit directly under the graphics card? I think so. I got some toolboxes on the side here so I can get these thumb screws pulled out. And then let's look at this. I think I got it in there. Then I'll want to screw back in. Hopefully I'm not getting in the way there too much. As you can see here, I got this back here beneath my graphics card. This capture card. Now, before I put the side panel back on, come to the other side and pull off this side so I can get into the back here. So, same idea. Make it's unscrewed. Pull the leaf out, and then it's flat. Set that to the side. As you can see here, I just had the SSD flopped in here because I didn't have the screws. But now I do have the screws, so come back here. I bought this off Amazon. It's just got a bunch of different kinds of screws in it. The only problem was that the latch was broken when I received it, so that's kind of annoying. But it looks like it passed QC, and all the screws are in little bags in here anyway, so I don't yet have an issue with it falling apart. Cut open this bag. I believe these are the screws, according to the top here, that I want to be using. So, pull this SSD out. If I've looked at this correctly, I believe it attaches on here, like this. and then it will go back right here. There we go. Just need to fend angle it a little bit. And then I want to push those down in there. Since I didn't build this computer, I did not do any of the cable management. This is the only thing I've added in, is this specific thing. So this is just how it was when I got it. Do not judge me if it's not up to your standard. I think it's fine. You don't see this anyway. Now, before I put the side panels back on, I want to make sure it turns on. So we'll go over there, over to the other desk, and make sure that happens. So, moment of truth. Put that on. Alright, it did that. Let's see if it turns on all the way. There we are. The first step is to make sure that the game and music drive, which is the SSD, is here. It is. It's up on the computer. Showed up. And the second step is open up Device Manager. I believe this right here, this Corsair Composite Virtual Input Device, is what the Elgato HD60 is going to show up as, because Elgato is owned by Corsair. So there it is, right there. Now I gotta plug some stuff into it, and so I will be back with showing you that. Okay, now I have it all set up here. The audio quality will likely have to change because I've changed mics, and we'll just have to excuse the fact that SoundForge is open in the background. I can't minimize it while it's recording. So you can see I had to download the Elgato Game Capture HD software, but I have the switch here up on the stream to demonstrate that it can. I've got it set up with pass-through, and that works perfectly fine. We'll switch over to where I have the pass-through plugged in. I don't know if you can see me clicking around there. That works perfectly fine. But the real test here is, will it open in OBS? So apparently I have to close Game Capture HD or it won't work in OBS. But I'll open OBS first. Actually, oh, look at that. It's working perfectly fine in OBS without me closing Game Capture HD. Let me just demonstrate again. There it goes. So yeah, you can pop into the game here. Let me close Game Capture HD since I don't really need that anymore. And I can just hit start recording. If I want, I can plop OBS down on my second monitor here. Swap over to the pass-through. And the sound for the pass-through comes out of the monitor, because this monitor has speakers. In Game Capture HD, it looked like it had a feature where you could pass through the sound to your computers, which is kind of useful, but I just prefer OBS. I've already got my stuff set up, so I don't know, let's just hop into I've been playing Super Metroid lately, so let's hop into Super Metroid here, and we'll have some Super Metroid footage for this video. 1994. Never said I was good at Super Metroid, but I have been playing it lately. Now I'll have messed around this for like a week or so, and I'll tell you about how that goes. So now I've had the capture card in the computer for about a week or so, and I've used it a handful of times. I used it to stream once. I used it to record the footage for one tryout, the one that is from the last week, and I also used it to pick up some footage specifically for this video. So you'll be seeing that, and I really gotta say it works fine. I can't remember if I mentioned this before, but I had to download and install the Elgato game capture software first for the capture card to work, but then once I did that, it worked fine in OBS, which is what I prefer to use, and it just works fine. It shows up this sort of like no signal looking thing when there's not anything plugged into it, or there's not an active input going. So far I've only used to record off the Switch, and that's probably what it's going to mainly be for, is recording off the Switch, since both the Xbox and the PS5 have built-in recording softwares that work fine for me, and they're also out in the living room, so I don't want to have to bring them in here to record them. So most of it's going to be for Switch, and so for that specific case, it works fine. I'll probably eventually use it to screen record off of my old laptop, because there's some of the older Let's Plays that I started back in the day that they just don't work properly. They full screen automatically, and they don't work properly with the dual monitor setup, so I can't really mess with them to check if it's working or whatever. So that'll be great for that in the future. One of the other things is the pass-through works fine. The only problem is it only works when the computer's on, which is kind of obvious. So I do have to switch where it is plugged into if I want to play the Switch with the computer off. But if the computer's on, the pass-through works fine. I don't really notice any visual problems, though I haven't directly compared. I'll have some comparisons up so that you can see them. I'll get some footage so that you can see the differences. The capture card works fine. The SSD has not broken on me now that I've screwed it in, so that's always great. I must have done that correctly. And basically, this is sort of just a follow-up to the video about the computer. I've had it for, I can't even remember now, and it's just been great for my production cycle and everything. Like, it makes the production work take longer because rendering takes longer. So what might have been a 3-hour job is now much less than that, because the rendering is half. We'll put it into perspective like this. On the laptop, rendering took about 3 times the length of the video. On this computer, rendering the same video, it takes half the length of the video. So I'm saving that much time. 15-minute videos would have taken up to an hour to render, 45 minutes to an hour, and they now take like 7. It's a significant improvement, especially when I have for the Patreon, I have the behind the scenes videos for the covers that can be up to an hour sometimes even more. Those would take 3+ hours to render. And on this, it's like 30 minutes. It's been great for that. And with my upgraded internet that's coming soon, I will hopefully even have faster upload times, which will just make the whole production situation faster. And that's the goal, is for production to take less time. But yeah, capture card works fine. I went with the Elgato HD60 because I didn't need the 4K. I think I mentioned this. I didn't need the 4K one because I'm mostly going to be recording the Switch. I initially planned to get one because I wanted to sort of future-proof it, but as far as I can tell, 4K recording or whatever only works in the Elgato software. So I don't want to mess with it. It doesn't really matter. I don't want to use that. I prefer OBS just because it's got a bit more customization options. And it's just, it works. It works. And it works fine. It works great. I can do things that I couldn't do before with both the computer and the capture card. It's been a great investment. It cost a lot of money, but it's been great for making my production work better. As you've maybe noticed, I've started slightly color correcting videos because this computer can run that. I can see the preview. It just has allowed me to just make better quality content overall. So that's the preference. I don't have to video the Switch screen like I did for that one video. It just works better. And it will hopefully let me do things once I get like my older consoles, like my 360 and my PlayStation 2 and my N64 out here. I'll be able to do content based on those, and that'll be cool. So, yeah. I don't have much more to say. Go to the description, you can find links to all my places. Twitter, Bandcamp, Patreon, not Facebook. I don't have a Facebook. There is a Facebook page for the Lossless Few, but you can find that link through the Bandcamp. Anyway, go to the description, click the links, follow them, do the whatever. Like the video, hit the like button if you dislike the video, the dislike button if you want to keep up with me, if you want to keep up with the shows I do on this channel. This isn't one of them, this is just sort of a one-off episode. But if you want to see the tryouts, the wrap-ups, the sloppy covers, you hit the subscription button, those, you'll get them in your subscription box or whatever, I don't know. I don't know how YouTube works on that end. I just go directly in my subscription box for the most part. Leave a comment. What do you think about all this money that I spent? Was it a bad choice? Was it a good choice? Do you think the capture card matters? Do you have plans to get a capture card? Let me know in the comments. Share the video if you have friends who have computers. I don't know. Do the things. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.